Hello, and welcome to the Wheel Talk podcast daily coverage of the Giro Donne. My name is Abby Mickey, and I am joined by the one and only Hannah Barnes. Hannah, hello.
Hello. This is the first time I worked out in 7 years that I'm not in Italy in the first week of July, so good to be here in different capacity.
Yeah, still focused on the Giro, but definitely in a different way. And you're currently riding for UnoX, but not, as you said, not at the Giro. So we're really excited to get your takes for post-race analysis on how things are going. And today we were going to talk about the first stage, but it has been canceled due to heavy rain. I think there are still some things that we can talk about. One, I just love the debate. Is it a time trial? Is it a prologue? Technically, it's a time trial, but it's like 400 meters longer than a prologue.
Yeah, I mean, the Giro, I think we've started with a prologue quite a lot over the years. I've done a lot of short ones there. But, I mean, it's a chance for the time trial national champs to get their new skin suits out, so...
That's true. I mean, last year it was only 300 meters longer than this year's one, and I feel like it still did some interesting things to the race. I mean, you had the jersey change hands in the first couple of days because of it, which was pretty cool, and like a good opportunity for the track riders to kind of show their strength on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we've had it quite a few years where it's been a team time trial, the first stage, which it doesn't always play into some teams and GC riders' hands, so there's probably quite a lot of the GC riders that are pleased that it's just their individual efforts that's gonna play the part today.
Mm-hmm. But not today.
No, unfortunately.
Not today, because when the stage was paused due to heavy rain, and we mean heavy rain, they're like, head on over to escapecollective.com, and I did a write-up on the stage and the cancellation, and the roads were basically just like covered in water, and there were parts of the roads that were also really muddy because mud had kind of slid off of the sides of the roads and onto the road. So it was really horrible conditions, but we still had a bunch of riders go. 87 riders still to start when the call was made that the stage would be canceled. So there was still some interesting things that happened. There's definitely still some things to talk about. But as far as that first stage, poor Tilda, her call that Chloe Dygert was going to take the jersey today and hold it all the way to the end, not so much. Little bit less hope for Chloe to win the Giro, but still not done. It's not over yet. Should we talk about the riders that did get to race?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's interesting because, I mean, I haven't seen the weather forecast. But clearly Movistar and potentially Jumbo-Visma and maybe FDJ as well, and with Chloe at Canyon, they must have looked at the weather forecast and put those riders going off early because they've already finished. Unfortunately, now they've technically got a disadvantage because they've done that full gas effort, 5-minute effort, and it's come to nothing. But yeah, they must have prepared for that when they were putting the riders in for the start list.
Yeah, interesting that you mentioned that, actually, Hannah. I have some audio diaries from riders on the ground, and Nina Kessler of Jayco-AlUla mentioned a bit about how her team decided where to put the riders.
Well, that was day one. Yeah, that started pretty weird. We knew that the weather was pretty unpredictable and that it could rain or maybe not. So we checked like all the weather apps, and with everybody it was like something else. And so if a stage race starts with a time trial, the DS can choose the order. So I was like almost one of the last one. So when it started already like raining, and then it started thunder, and then we heard that girls were crashing, and so then they canceled it for a bit. And that's weird. I think I never had this before in a race where you're like warming up and then don't know like when to take your like final gel or when to start your warm up, so it was pretty weird. But yeah, I think in the end it's good that they like canceled it, but I don't think there's like a good thing you could do today. Like, it was dangerous, but it's also like sad for the girls that did race. And also when they canceled it the first time, you know, girls already like finished in like really shit conditions, and then they are waiting to good conditions. So yeah, when is it fair? And well, it's really sad for my teammate actually. Letitia, she was like standing first, so yeah, she was a bit disappointed, of course, that they canceled it, and she did amazing even in this like crazy weather. But yeah, that's cycling, and I think they choose for like safety and yeah, so actually the race starts tomorrow and not today. Pretty weird, but it is how it is. Let's hope on some better weather tomorrow, and we're gonna make a good race tomorrow, and let's show how strong we are, because the girls that did ride today from my team, they did really good. Well, I didn't start yet. I started my warm-up, but and then I did my cool down. So, but let's see how it goes tomorrow, and yeah, I hope the weather is gonna be good.
How much damage does a 5-minute effort do, though, if we're talking about like how this will play into the rest of the race? I imagine like it's maybe not ideal, but it probably isn't going to make a massive difference.
No, I think for some people it's pretty good to have that opener. Because yeah, it's hard. I think there'll probably be some riders that are still going to try and just do some sort of openers on the trainer, even though it's been cancelled, just to get their body and their heart rate up for tomorrow's stage.
Like you said, a lot of the GC favorites already did get to actually race before they canceled the stage. Like Annemiek van Vleuten was second provincially on the finish line before they canceled the stage, behind Letitia Paternoster, which is it would have been a super awesome result for her if the stage had ended with the same top 3 that there was before it was canceled. Letitia obviously being a really, really decorated track cyclist who races for Jayco-AlUla and hasn't really done a ton on the road in the last couple of years. She was riding with Trek Segafredo. She's won a stage of the Tour Down Under with them and been a key part of their program from its beginning. But this year recently she's swapped teams, and now this would have been a massive result for her.
Yeah, she's had a pretty slow start to the season. So yeah, when I looked at that, I was just following just the results coming in, and I saw that she was leading at the moment, and I thought that was actually pretty cool. I was happy for her. But when I actually had a look at the stage, and I saw it, and I saw the length of it, I knew that there's a lot of track races that would have really liked the look of it. And you can see that. I mean, I've only got the top 20 here, but probably half of those are from the track. So yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, Georgia Baker was Gracie Elvin's call for today, and she was sitting in 6th, but she also got like some of the worst weather because it was paused right after she came through. Yeah. So definitely. And like for Chloe Dygert, who's also obviously a track rider, but targeting the GC at this race, the weather would have been a massive impact on her because she doesn't have a ton of experience on the road.
Turns out Chloe Dygert doesn't really hold back. She goes into every race and just wants to send it. So yeah, hopefully she's okay carrying on into the next stages and yeah, heal up quick. But yeah, just looking at that, it just looked like the roads are just like ice out there. So good call from the organisers, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow the sun will be shining for the girls. You're better off losing 2 seconds in a prologue like this instead of potentially sliding out on one of those corners. So
tomorrow will be really interesting. I was looking at tomorrow thinking, oh, I think this is like a reduced bunch day. But now that there is no pink jersey handed out yet, what do you think that will do for tomorrow's stage?
I mean, it's the pink jersey. So yeah, it's the sprinters that probably didn't really think that they would have a chance to get the jersey. It's the pink jersey. Everyone wants to hold that. So I think tomorrow's stage is going to be crucial. There'll be riders that would have been going into tomorrow's stage thinking they were about 10 seconds down potentially. And now they're all on level playing field again. So yeah, it's going to be a good stage.
Yeah, and I mean, Lorena Wiebes in the peloton, it's like hard to see past her whenever there's a possibility of a sprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also got to hear from Lauretta Hanson of Trek Segafredo, who did actually get to race. So let's hear from Lauretta.
Hi everyone, this is Lauretta Hanson from Lidl-Trek, and I'm currently in Chianchiano Terme in Italy for the start of the Giro Donne. And over the next 10 days, I'm going to try and keep an audio diary to give you guys a bit of an insight into what it's like, what the racing's like here, and life on the road in Italy. So yeah, I guess today, stage one, we have the prologue. It's 4.4 Ks long. It's obviously quite fast. There's a couple of little drags in it, a sort of technical little descent. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of fun. There's potentially some rain predicted in the afternoon. So yeah, it could be a bit of a luck of the draw of your starting time, whether you get rain or not. And then that could have a big impact on finish times, but yeah, we have Gaia Realini as first off. So yeah, we're excited to get underway here with the racing. Like, there's a lot of excitement around the race in general. You know, there was a little bit of anxiety, I think, as to whether we were actually going to be racing. You know, but it's exciting to be here. And then, of course, for us, as our first race as Lidl-Trek, it was quite fun showing up at the presentation last night with everyone looking and checking out our new kit. Like, we're all really excited to represent a new brand and yeah, make some big goals and big changes for the future. So yeah, we're all here, ready, excited, looking forward to racing, and yeah, it's going to be a good Giro. There's some really tough stages, no real mountaintop finishes, so yeah, it's going to be a good tour. We've got a good team here, and yeah, a strong field in general. So it's going to be a good 10 days in Italy, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Lots of pasta, lots of good coffee, and hopefully lots of good memories. So yeah, I'll keep you updated as we go along, and yeah, look forward to sharing some stories. So we're just in the car on the way back from the prologue. At Giro, you never know what you're going to get, and today was exactly that. Gaia, what did you think of the weather today?
Today, rain, cat and dogs.
Yeah, it was a little bit chaotic. We had hail, it was super heavy rain, and it all started 2 minutes into the prologue, so not even the first rider had a dry ride. They delayed us for a little while when we had really heavy rain and some flash flooding, and then they started again, and then it dried for a little bit, but again the rain came again, and it was just too much. Like, there was a lot of water on the road, so in the end they decided it wasn't safe, and yeah, they cancelled the stage. So I guess we all start tomorrow on the same time, and yeah, we go from there. But I think everyone felt okay today, and we're looking forward to the real start tomorrow.
All right, well, Hannah and I will be back tomorrow to talk about the second stage. First stage, pretty dramatic, but in the end, anticlimactic. And yeah, but there'll be more. We have a lot to talk about this week. Hannah, thanks so much for jumping on this call with me.
Pleasure.
One of the GC hopefuls for EF Education-TIBCO Silicon Valley Bank, Veronica Ewers, has a bit to say about the stage.
Yep. So we just are transferring from the stage 1 to stage 2 of the Giro Donne. Stage 1 was the prologue, or was supposed to be the prologue. Say about half of the people, half of the ladies were able to go off until it was canceled. It was going, and within the first 30 ladies, 15 to 18, I guess, went down. And that was before the torrential downpour. There was a pretty sketchy downhill that was a bit tricky, but then once it started raining even a little bit, it just got incredibly slick, and there were even crashes happening in the course before the really tricky descent, just because of how slick the roads were. So yeah, so I mean, the rain was one thing, and then there was pretty severe thunder and lightning, so it was a chaotic start to the Giro, but yeah, fortunately for my team, out of the 7 of us, 4 of us raced, and unfortunately Lizzie went down, but fortunately she's okay, and the rest of us stayed upright, who were able to race, hoping everybody that went down is okay, and we'll get a fresh start going into tomorrow.
We will close out the episode by hearing from Niamh Fisher-Black, the SD Worx rider who will be one of the women leading the charge for the Dutch team this week.
Hey listeners, this is Niamh coming to you from Tuscany, Italy, from the Giro Donne. This was meant to be the day of stage 1, a prologue, 4.4 Ks, very tricky, around a little Italian city, and Italian roads, they can be a bit crazy, bumpy. Even in the dry, it was sketchy, I have to say. There were some crashes even in the recon yesterday, and this morning when I was reconning it, it was all about taking the right lines and slippery even in the dry on a small descent there. So I have to say I was very nervous for today. I think a lot of people were. And I think a lot of people's nerves, including mine, went heightened even more when it started to tip down and a thunderstorm came over us just as the first riders went off. It was pretty severe thunderstorm. One of those ones when you see the lightning and you're counting for the thunder and it's a matter of seconds. It's there and grumbling just above you. But I think the danger was mostly just, of course, the slippery roads, tricky course. It was about, weighing the risk and staying safe, especially with 8 days ahead. I think half the field managed to do their TT, and there was some crashes, and that was horrible for me, actually sitting on the bus waiting and hearing crash after crash happen. This person crashed, that person crashed, my teammates coming and saying, whoa. And then I just managed my warm-up, and the organisers decided to cancel the race completely. I think mostly due to, the conditions were very adverse and a lot of people were crashing. Even I heard some team cars were struggling. And I think in the end, mainly due to some flooding on the roads. It was at a point where it was too dangerous and they were kept on having to neutralise the race. That was day 1 of the Giro Donne. Welcome to the Giro, I guess, huh? I think, some people will be very annoyed about today because maybe they went out there and did a good TT or they had a crash or something and in the end it was for nothing. But some people are also happy because, crashing means losing time and things like that. I'm in a bit two minds, As I say, I was very nervous about it, so I wasted a lot of nervous energy anyway. But tomorrow's really a new day, huh? We start again the Giro Donne tomorrow, fresh start. So, that's the Giro for you. Never ceases to surprise. See you again tomorrow.